Okay, let's start with this module. So, yan. So, with water treatment technology. So, why do we need to treat water? So, why do we need to treat water? Why? It's because according to the study, according to UNEP, United Nations Environmental Program, 8 million children under the age of 5 die yearly because lack of safe water. Bakit, why is it children under the age of 5? Because those children that under the age of 5 has a low immune system. And commonly, they always drink a lot of water, right? In their food preparation, in their milk preparation. So they are more feed with liquid. Diba? They are more feed with liquid, and they need lot of water. So, and they have a low immune system as compared to adult. Ayan. So that is why the children are highly affected. So, drinking water quality. So, yan. So, of course, we need a good quality of water for drinking. And as mentioned, 80% of the sickness is because of lack of water supply, rather lack of clean water supply. Kasi sometimes there is a water supply but hindi malinis. So, inadequate water. Clean water. So, yan. And we are part of the Asia. So, 3/4 of the population by which the water is not good for drinking. So, diba, for example, if there are mga tawag nito, mga typhoon, disaster, diba? May mga disaster. Like, when was the worst one? In Odette, diba? Bagyong Odette. So, yun yung worst typhoon that we had. So, those areas that are highly affected with typhoon, so, nagka-cut yung water supply nila because of nagkakaroon ng piping system problem, di ba? Pumutok yung system ng pipe or whatever, walang kuryente, hindi under yung mga pump. So, yan, nagkakaroon ng problem with water for drinking and for household supply. So, the worst scenario is nagkakaroon ng yung mga diarrhea. So, I can remember, no, the last December, parang I'm one of those mga, anong tawag nun, nag-raise ng fund for the victim of Odette. So, what they ask also is gamot or medicine for diarrhea, because the children are highly affected with diarrhea because of poor water quality for drinking. So, yan. More affected pag nagkakaroon ng disaster. And of course, when you see drinking water, there should be no bacteria present sa E. coli kasi as we all know, the bacteria grows exponentially. So, when there is bacteria in the water, so kahit isa lang yan, after 1 hour, ang dami na yan. Kasi they grow exponentially. Yan. And these are some of the inorganic constituents. This is the maximum level. Why there is a maximum level? As we go back through the ecology, the lesson in ecology, the law of tolerance. So, each one of us has a, depende sa immune system natin, no? So, depende sa immune system, we have a tolerable limit na kaya ng capacity ng katawan natin. So, that is why we have the Philippine National Standards for Drinking Water set a maximum level of these inorganic constituents in the drinking water. So, beyond this one is not already good for consumption. It could be lead to cancer, toxicity, and other diseases. Same with this pesticides constituents. So, there is a maximum level allowed only. Why there is the possible pesticides in the water? We all know that we all use pesticides in our house. We use, di ba, yung insecticides for ipis, for ants, what else? Di ba? In the farm. Ayan, to increase farm products. So that is why there is really a big possibility that our water might be contaminated with pesticides, right? Kahit na malayo tayo sa farm. Pero sa mga bahay-bahay natin, we are using pesticides, right? And also this one, so this I have mentioned earlier, the physical and the chemical parameters of water quality. So this is the maximum level allowed. So beyond that one, hindi na siya good for consumption. So the Philippine National Standards of Water, their reference is also the World Health Organization guidelines or the WHO. So, yeah. So that is why we need to treat the water because of the source of water. Like for example, sino dito taga Imos, Bacoor? Some of, not 100%, but some of the Manila water, or Manila water ba kayo or Maynilad? Hindi ko lang maano kasi I'm from Dasma, so I'm not that familiar. So public water supply nyo dyan. Tingnan yung water bill niyo kung Maynilad or Manila water. Correct me if I'm wrong. Basta their source of water is from Laguna Lake. So we all know that Laguna Lake is a polluted body of water. So that is why we need to treat water before it is good for public water supply. Diba? Sino gusto bang maligo sa water quality ng Laguna Lake? Wala, diba? So before that, Manila or Manila water supply that water into your houses, it undergoes several treatment. Okay? And these are the typical treatment of water. So there are screening, mixing of water with coagulant and flocculant. Then after that one, sedimentation. Then you're going to pump out the clear water and goes into filtration. So the filtered water will then be disinfected and good for storage and distribution. So in the screening process, of course, sometimes students get confused with screening and filtration. When you say screening are removing large debris. So large, like for example, if your source of water is from Laguna Lake, so there might be small fishes, di ba? Baka naman pag walang screening, pag inom mo ng water, yan, may tilapia na sa baso. Di ba? Or kaya merong tadpoles, di ba? So it removes those large objects from the water. So next is screening. Kasi of screening is mixing. When this is a physical process, so by which when you are mixing water, you are introducing oxygen into the water. When you are introducing oxygen to the water, it improves the water quality. But to improve further the water quality, there is an addition of coagulants and flocculants in the water. So yeah, so by adding coagulants and flocculants, it clears the water, so it lessens the turbidity in the water as well as removing the solid particles. When those solid particles are removed in the water, so those bacteria that hides in the water can also be removed during the process. So yeah, here nagkakaroon ng coagulation, and the common coagulant is aluminum sulfate. So ano ang aluminum sulfate? So aluminum sulfate, this is what? Alum or tawas. So yan. So that is kasi siya affordable minerals or substances that can use to clean up the water. It can use to deodorize the water and clean the water. So yan, it is tawas. So after that one, sedimentation. Usually, sedimentation is a slow process. So that's very slow process. Will took 1 to 10 hours. So depende sa laki ng or the volume of your water. Yan. Okay, so next, dyan, filtration. So it removes suspended solids in the water. So yan. So commonly, they use rapid sand filter for filtration. Why rapid sand filter? So from the word rapid. So therefore, you can filter large volume of water in this filtration units kasi the process is very rapid. And other one is microstraining. So if you check on the water fountain in Lasal, so di ba may makikita kayong parang filter dyan? So ganito yung tsura. That is microstraining. So those microorganisms like the algae and bacteria are trapped in this parang cloth-like materials or woven fabric materials. So by which it increases the water quality or the clarification process. So next is also disinfection. So as mentioned earlier, the commonly chemical used for disinfection is chlorine because it is very affordable. But of course, nature itself has a way of disinfection. How does the natural way of disinfection? So when those solids are removed in the water, some of the bacteria are also removed in the water. And also the removal of color. So yeah, and when the water is exposed to sunlight, some of the bacteria can't stand with the temperature of the sun and they naturally die. So, kasi unfavorable conditions sa kanila. And of course, if they don't have food, the bacteria itself will die. Yan. And cause of taste and odor, so yan are oils, gases, minerals. And they can be eliminated by at source. So for example, at source, if we all know that for example, in Lasal, if we want to remove the odor of Lasal Lake, then we will not throw our wastewater into Lasal Lake, right? Hindi mo siya papuntahin sa Lasal Lake. Para yung water talaga na sa lake is from kasi ang Lasal Lake daw, as what you have said by history, so meron siyang natural spring. So kaya hindi siya, hindi siya nagda-dry out ang Lasal Lake. Kasi meron siyang natural spring sa ilalim. So meron siyang groundwater supply. But then, tumataas yung level niya because of water from Square Canteen. If ayaw natin mangamoy ang Lasal Lake, hindi tayo magtatapon ng water sa Lasal Lake. So that is what we called as eliminating at source. Diba? That's the one-way solution. And also, by adding chlorine. Kasi again, what causes odor in Lasal Lake? It is the bacteria that releases hydrogen sulfide. Kung papatayin natin yung bacteria in Lasal Lake, what happens? So there's no such odor. And also this one, a degasifier. So this one, a degasifier. So this one, it is a mechanical process of removal of the odor in the water. So yan, so we have a sweep gas. Commonly used sweep gas are nitrogen because nitrogen is abundant in our atmosphere. So from the word sweep, gas. So parang naglilinis siya na gas. So it flows here and and this one, the water will also pipe in the other side. So they are in the opposite direction. So what goes out is the clean water and the dirty gases are carried away by this sweep gas and it goes out here. Okay? See, the other way is application of activated carbon. Have you heard about activated carbon? In the TV commercial, facial wash with activated carbon, toothpaste with activated carbon, shampoo with activated carbon. Why? Because activated carbon is a good adsorbent. So take note, adsorbent, AD, ha? AD, hindi AB. AD, ha? AD, adsorb. Hindi absorb. Magkaiba ang absorb sa adsorb. Okay? So, good adsorbent. And then, because activated carbon is a special kind of carbon, their volume are increased so that they can absorb more impurities in water. And there are two basic kinds, the granular and the solid block activated carbon. So the process of reduction is by physical removal and absorption. In the physical removal, so those large contaminants are blocked. So this one, they are blocked in the surface, and those smaller contaminant goes into these micropores. So, yung mga malalaki are here, blocked in the surface, and those smaller are here. Ayan, ang mga micropores. Ayan. And they are adsorbed, so inhaled on the surface. So there is no chemical reaction that happen, only physical process or adsorption. The next one is ozone treatment. Ozone removes iron, bacteria, and viruses, manganese, and hydrogen sulfide in the water. But then, ozone process is a very expensive process. So, it is not the ozone in the atmosphere that being removed. Hindi ha, kasi ozonation process here is produced electrochemically by electricity and chemical process. So yan, hindi yung ozone in the atmosphere, tinatanggal, nilalagay sa water. So here, it is by the process of electrochemical. So the water is here in the tank, storage tank, and then air and oxygen is pumped, and there is a electricity. The electricity react with oxygen to form O3. And then paglabas niyan, malinis na. So yan, hydrogen sulfide. So it is the odor that you smell in Lasa Lake. So it can be removed by, of course, removal at source or by chlorination or disinfection. But this one is usually observed in wells near oil fields, because we all know that the oils float in the surface, so therefore the oxygen cannot pass through the oil layer, then it goes into the water. So that is why they have a low oxygen level, because of the oil layer on the top of the water. Also by activated carbon can be removed. So yan, iron and manganese. So it can be removed by aeration, sedimentation, yan, filtration, and addition of chemicals. So corrosion can be controlled also by what? The pH of the water. So diba, but at low pH, acidic, nagkakaroon ng corrosion. So yan, so, or low alkalinity. And also with dissolved gases. At very high concentration of dissolved oxygen, the water becomes acidic or low alkaline that cause corrosion in the piping system. So, with hard water, so as mentioned earlier, hard water is undesirable in industries set up, right? Because it will, later on, it will form into the piping system. When it forms in the piping system, it will clog into the pipes, and that affects their performance in the industry setup. So they need to soften the water. So yeah, so It could be by lime soda process or quick lime, calcium oxide or dehydrated lime, the calcium hydroxide. So, or it could be by ion exchange process. So, in this ion exchange process, they use zeolites. So, zeolite is just a clay like this one. Yeah, so parang milk tea, no? Sa milk tea ng Zago, pero hindi. Matigas siya. Unlike sa Zago. So, they're just going to place the zeolites here in this tank. So, yan. And then, the hard water, the poor hard water here. So, by gravity, the hard water flows. Paglabas niyan, soft water na. Because these zeolites are negatively charged ion. So, negatively charged siya. And those hard water or minerals that cause hardness in water are positive. So, negative attract positive. So, that is why paglabas ay soft water na. And this negative resin attracts positive.